Dragonites. I hope everybody is having a great start to their long weekend. This is our kickoff video for Under the Sea. We've been waiting for this for quite a while, haven't we? I know. So we're gonna get started. Oh, it's so exciting, oh my gosh. Okay, I just wanna real quickly go over a couple things and then we will look down here and get started. We'll talk for a minute. We will give the answer to the trivia question, and we will officially be kicking off Under the Sea. The event will run September 1st to September 30th. I will be asking you for a progress pick at the halfway point, so somewhere around the 15th of the month. And we are going to, as soon as that rolls around, the third week and the fourth week, we're going to do prize giveaways. So week number 3, there will be 2 prizes, and then week number 4, to wrap up the event, there will be 2 more. Okay, so we will give away, on the third week, we're gonna do one of the cool sets made by Miss Min's over at True Vampire Arts is her Etsy store. I know some of you have picked up some of the really cool sets that she made, and I'm telling you, if you haven't, you need to get over there, because dudes and dudettes, look, go get you one of these. Yes, you have to do it. Not only that, $5 for this cool pen. Will you just get over there and get one, please? I mean, anyway, so I noticed these cool colors. Okay, so some of you have gotten them. Good on ya. Let's hope everybody else gets over there. So we will, I'm not sure if I'm going to be giving away 2 of the aqua glitter sets or 1 aqua glitter and 1 teal blue. Not sure, but there will be 2 sets that are given away. They are a pen, a tray, and a cover minder. This cover minder is so adorable, you guys. It's like having your own pet dragon. Look how cute this little dragon is. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, so there will be a full set given away and a couple little trinkets from me. And then there will also be a set given away that has the really cool themed water bottle, the diamond painting, the set of cards, and the calendar for your desk. Okay, for 2026. So 2 of those prizes. So 1 of each of those on week 3 and 1 of each of those on week 4. Okay. Hopefully everybody's got that. Questions? You know how to reach me. You can leave a comment, email, Instagram, whatever. Okay. I am going to do a final roll call. These are the people participating in this event. If you don't hear your name, you're not officially enrolled in the event. So, does that mean you can't paint along with us? Of course you can paint along with us, okay? You're just not officially in the event, which means your name will not be on the prize wheel, okay? The only other way to get excluded from the prize wheel is if I ask you for a progress pick and there's literally nothing done outside of your start picture. I can't put you on the wheel because it would not be fair to everyone else. If you're participating, you gotta participate. I know, you don't have to finish it. You don't have to. You don't even have to have a fresh start. You do, however, need to do something on it so that you're actually, participating in the event. I know it's a concept, but work with me. Okay. Other than that, if you're on this list, your name is on the prize wheel and you are in fact eligible for a prize. Now, I'm going to encourage you though to get over there to True Vampire Arts Etsy shop and get some of these items. Whether you just want a pen or you just want a tray or you just want the cute cover minder for a collectible, that's okay. They make really great gifts too. You don't have to be a diamond painter to have one of these cute, adorable pens. I mean, it's a cute collectible, right? So the holidays are upon us, people. I know it's scary to think about, but seriously, September? Do you realize how few paydays there are between now and Christmas? It's a little bit disconcerting. I'm not gonna lie. It's really, it's a lot. So, get over there and get one just so you don't miss out, okay? If you win one, but if you don't, I mean, just, go check it out. Okay. These are the people enrolled in the Under the Sea event for September 1st through the 30th. Okay? There is a WIP parade attached to this kickoff video. Guys, be gentle and kind with me, okay? I'm very old school. But this is not a slideshow this time. It's actually an attempt at a WIP and chat. I had a little issue trying to get the amount of time for the names, so there's a second or two off before it clicks over to the name for the current canvas. I'm working on it, but just know I'm working on it. Also, I had to use 2 clips of music, and one of them I couldn't get to I couldn't get it deleted so that it would end when it's supposed to end. So do us all a favor, when you see the thank you at the end of the WIP parade, just turn it off. Unless you want to listen to the music, just turn it off, because that's the end of it. I just couldn't get it to end. I'm working on it. I will figure out how eventually. So one of these times you're going to do an event, you're going to go, oh my God, she figured it out. Yes, I will. That is not today. So just turn it off afterwards. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So welcome to Under the Sea, my sea dragons, temporarily. Margie Grice, Crafty Chef Diamond, Nuck and Futz, Mike Weeks, Diamond Art Joy, Joanne Arnold, Victoria Dodd, Scarlett's Little Crafty Corner, Snuggy's Crafting Corner, True Vampire Crafts, Jennifer Parker, Desiree Jameson, Roxanne Samuscott, Pampered with Diamonds, Matt Smaracek, Sugar Ray Crafts, Master of Jedi, Missy Nelson, Kathy Reynolds, Neil Porter, Cubic Z Painter, Maddie Motley, Pamela Headings, Judy Pina, Mare's Creations, Corinne Richardson, Sedona LeBlanc, Robbie Zink, and Love My Family, 1563. Marianne Hodges. If anybody knows Marianne, I've been trying to figure out, I can't find her. I think she was a Facebook add-on for the I Will Not Desert You event. And there are 6 or 7 Marianne Hodges on Facebook. So, if any of you know who she was, she signed up for Under the Sea during I Will Not Desert You, which was back in May. So, if I don't hear from you, Marianne, I'm going to go ahead and take you off the list. I don't know what to say. I can't reach you. And I haven't heard from you, and I didn't get a pic from you, so I don't know what the plan is. So if I don't hear from you by this time next week, I'm just going to assume you can't make it for whatever reason, and I'll just take you off. Okay, you're on right now, but if you're not going to stay on, that's fine. Let me know, please. Okay, that is everybody. That makes 31 of us all together. How about that? All right, guys. If you thought you were on the list, or you've sent a pic and you didn't hear you need to come let me know, because these are the people that I have down as participating. So the cutoff to join the event is closed to be official. If you would like to paint along with us, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay. So I think those are all the rules I needed to tell all of you about. If I think of something, I'll throw it in, or I'll catch you on the next video. I'm planning to do your check-in and WIP and chat with you on once a week towards the end of the week. Could be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Depends a little bit on how my life is going. So expect, though, to hear from me weekly. I will let you know when it's time to send in your progress pic. So please do that timely. Let's not take the whole rest of the event, please, to get them in. I need to see them so that I can get the spinning wheel ready for our drawing for our gifts. Okay? All right. So with that being said, Dragonites, I hope everybody is having a wonderful time easing into fall. Have you gotten your pumpkin spice yet? I did yesterday, first one. So yes. So grab your dragons like Finian, grab your friends, and join me under the sea. Okay, guys, here we are back in business. So, all right, everybody. What is everybody doing for this long weekend? Are you getting your canvases kitted up? Are they already kitted up and you're just waiting to start? Because you are officially okay to start now. If I have your picture, your start picture, you may begin. So, yeah, don't hesitate. Go ahead and get started and get things rolling around. I am just looking for what I've done with my tweezers. Don't know how I managed to keep losing them about every 3 or 4 times I need it. It's nowhere to be seen. Oh, here they are. Okay. So, yes, anyway, do feel free to get started on your canvases. You don't have to wait till exactly the 1st. You're welcome to do that if you're working on another event and you would like to wait till the 1st. I am 100% okay with that. So no problem whatsoever. But you don't have to. You can 100% go ahead and start your engines. I know sometimes it's like, oh, it's hard to wait. Yeah, so if I have your picture, and I should, because again, I'm attaching the WIP parade, so that is complete for this initial start up time frame for the event. So go right ahead and get started. Especially if you have a big one, God knows, I want you to be able to get a head start on there whenever you would like to, because I have done some of those kinds of kits and I know they take a minute. So yes, please go ahead. Other than that though, other than diamond painting, what else are you doing for this long weekend? Do you have plans? You staying at home and avoiding the rush? Like, what are you doing? I am 100% staying home because down here in Southern California, I'm telling you, it doesn't take much for traffic to be just unbearable. So anytime I can avoid it, I will. And I'm sorry, but you're going to hear me changing my drills out a lot because the confetti in this canvas is a little bit unbelievable. It was way more than I expected it to be. So you're just going to see me, having to confetti my way through here. So that's what's going on with that. So if you have plans or you're going to do something really fun, let me know in the comment section. What is what? I do want to give you just a little bit of update. I know I've been a little bit scarce online as of late. And I will go over that a little bit just so you guys have an understanding. I'm not going to delve into it, but so as you may know, my husband was going through, I mentioned it before, that he was going through some testing for his cognitive behavior. That came about because I started to notice that his memory was not what it should be. It had changed a lot, which was kind of unusual because, he had areas that weren't great. In other words, he never ever remembers anybody's name. He can't put a face with a name. That's never been part of it. So those kind of things were not concerning, but now he was doing things that were concerning, that behaviors that were unusual, and made me wonder a little bit. And so that testing took a long time. We had to get with the neurologist, and we had to go through a jillion different types of scans, a jillion different types of testing in the office. I mean, every type of neurological and psychological testing you can think of to get there. Okay, so end result is, and I can talk freely about this right now because he's not home. So end result of that whole thing, after everything was said and done, is that he has markers for both dementia and a really severe type of dementia, which I was very disheartened to hear about, and also for Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so that led us down some interesting roads. He's currently getting an infusion medication twice a month to help with one of those diseases. And he's taking an oral medication that's supposed to help and kind of hopefully delay some of the harder points of the diagnosis, and stave it off for longer time. So that's changed our life quite a lot. So we're in the midst now. We had to reestablish care with him with the VA hospital, our local establishment here in our county, because he had been mostly in the private sector, which is normal for retirees from the military. They usually end up in the private sector. They don't stay with military physicians very often. At least, Army retirees, that's the case. I don't know if that's, I think I left some plastic on here. I don't know if that's true for, all of the branches of the military, but, yeah, and Neil has always preferred to go into the private sector. Apparently, I didn't understand why, so I asked him about it, and apparently, here we go. Plastic. There's not a lot of privacy in the military, and he never wanted to have any medical issue he was having to be something that, anybody in the ranks on any of the military bases could find out about without his say so. And I guess that's something that happens. And so it was news to me, but apparently that is something that happens. And so he tries as hard as he can to avoid any kind of eventuality like that. So he started going to the private sector really even before he was out of the military. So, yeah, that's been an interesting thing. And again, I was not aware of it because this is, I was not, my dad was out of the military before I ever was born. So that was not a thing. My ex-husband was not in the military. I never wanted to date anybody in the military because, you have to be okay with being married by yourself, especially during times of deployment, and I am not one of those people. So God love all of you who are. I am so thankful that we have you, but yeah, I'm not among your ranks. So I knew very little about what went on until I married Neil. Neil had been out of the military about almost 10 years by the time we met and got together and got married and whatever. So I have been party to the benefits of that, which is kind of interesting. I've been able to reap the benefits without having to have gone through the hard part of being married to someone in the military and, being on deployment, etc. So that's kind of been interesting. So that's what's been happening there. So we have all been in, using private sector medical care, which is good. But because of what may be involved with this, we needed to find out if there was going to be any help available through the military. So, and of course that takes miles and miles and miles and miles of paperwork, and we've been waiting to talk to a social worker for the military. We've been assigned one, but they're, I don't know how many months behind. And they told us that when we were there, that, yes, this is going to happen. You'll have paperwork to fill out. Okay, we have filled it out. And then a social worker will contact you. Yeah, well, I'm getting the feeling it's going to be a while. So, but yeah, we're trying that because while there's not, in-home services per se, there are a couple of things that we might be able to get some assistance with in the house, which is good. They also want us to consider moving into veteran housing. But here's the thing. I don't know if that means that should Neil pass away, that Jared and I are out on the street, which is what happens when they're active duty. So I don't want to get us in a situation like that. And I don't really want to give up our home. So, although if we can't get the roof fixed, there may not be a choice. So there's been a lot of things that we've had to do and a lot of deep talks, which isn't good, because I am going to have to try to get conservatorship over Neil. He does not want to talk about that. He doesn't want to even discuss it. Well, I can't wait till if and when he does want to discuss it, because I need to be the one to oversee the decisions that are going to have to be made. So that's been a lot. So that's been happening. At the same time that was going on, I took my little sweet Finny in. As you guys all know, you just saw him a few minutes ago when I brought him up to the camera so you could see him. I found out after all the diagnostics were done, and thank God for all of you that donated to the GoFundMe. Thank you so much, because I was really able to find out what was going on. And it turns out that he has the beginnings of heart disease. So that was devastating to me. However, he is just at the beginning stages. So as bad as it could be, it's not there yet, which means he's medication eligible. So he's now on 2 medications. He's on a diuretic every day, and he's on a medication to help his heart kind of flow freer than it's doing now. So those come with, some side effects that are kind of interesting, but he will have to be on them for the rest of his life. When I asked how long they thought that would be, they said about a year. I kind of suspect that he might be around longer than that. He sure is feisty right now. Holy Moses. So I guess that means that the medicine's working, so I'm glad for that. And yes, he takes a lot of time, and he takes extra that I have to fit in every day now, which is okay. I'll do whatever he needs me to do. But yes, so that was kind of devastating to hear. But I have discovered with him not to count him out ever. He's had a couple of health issues. Even last year when he had the kidney infection, most of the time that'll wipe a dragon out, because you don't usually find it until it's too late. By the time you realize something's wrong and you get to the vet, it's too late. He's too far in. But because I've had dragons around and I've been rescuing them for, gosh, about a decade now. Well, I guess back maybe 11 years now. I knew when he wasn't himself, which is why I wanted to get him in to be seen. And fortunately, we caught it fairly early. So that might give me some extra time with him too. But in the meantime, I'm just going to have as many adventures as possible with him and give him hugs and loves and squeezes every day and do the best we can, because what else can we do? So, but that hit at the same time. So at that same time, those two things were happening. There were some personnel changes at the company, the agency that provides Jared's daily staff people. And so we had to talk about some stuff, because if they're going to change them out, I needed to know what exactly are you going to change, and what is it you want us to tell you about. They wanted to know things like, what age group is he the most comfortable with? Does it matter to Jared if it's a man or a woman? What kind of personality trait? Okay, well, that was fine. We could answer all that, but giving that information and finding somebody to fit the bill is a much bigger thing. So we have now completed that, and they are looking for somebody so that fits that bill. So when that happens, one of his people will be switching out. And the other one I will try to keep as long as I can, because she's really fantastic. It can be hard to find somebody in this field that's in it because they're really invested in it and not just because they want a paycheck. Which, this is the wrong field to be in. You should not be working with disabled adults if you're interested in a paycheck. You have to want more out of it. You have to take personal fulfillment out of it in another way, because you're dealing with human beings. It's not something you can just put on a shelf at 5 p.m. when you're done. No, you have to be more involved in that, and you have to understand that because you're dealing with people and human beings, you may have to take a half a day off sometimes, or they may be sick and you're going to have to go not working that day, or you may have to be overtime because something's going on and you can't just drop them and leave. So there's a lot to it, and I get very frustrated when I see people in this particular field that I know are not in it for the right reason. So, and those are the people that I always then have to step in and go, yeah, that's not the person for Jared, just so you know, because I'm very, protective of who's going to be with him and what they're going to be doing, because I have spent, 30 years, he'll be 30 in March, making sure that he has what he needs, making sure that his well-being is at the top of my list always, making sure that he was protected from a world that would love to hurt him. So I don't just give him to anybody. After I've done all of that, I'm not going to give him to somebody who couldn't care less whether he's okay or not, as long as they get a check. That's not going to be the person with Jared. It's up to the others, to them and their caregivers, what goes on for them. But yeah, when it comes to my son, yeah, not only had you better have it together, but you better have anything short of a security clearance for FBI. I don't want anything to do with you, because you got precious cargo if you got my son on board with you. So that then requires extra work, right? So and because I'm Jared's conservator, I have to justify to the court everything that is done for him, to him, because of him, by him, so that everybody's on the same page. And if at any time they feel like I can't do that, or I'm not making right decisions for him, they can try to remove me and have the guardian ad litem's office take over. And let me just tell you, no, over my dead body will that be the case, because let me tell you about the guardian ad litem's office in our county. They lost a conservatee. And when I say they lost them, I don't mean that, they went next door to the neighbors. No, they boarded a plane to Japan and nobody knew it. Couldn't find them. Then they finally realized. They went to the airport and got on this plane. They were lucky they were able to convince them to get back on the plane and come back to the U.S. But seriously, this is a conserved adult. They just walked on board. So, yeah, I don't want that office in charge of Jared either. So that means I have to spend way more time at it than you normally would have to do for somebody that you were in charge of. So, and then I'm trying to get my estate planning paperwork done, so that in the event that anything happens to me, they know that they need to contact Jared's oldest brother, and that, he's going to be the one to hopefully look after him and make the decisions that he feels are right for him. That also means extensive conversations that I have to have with him, because, you never know when it's going to be, when your time is going to be, right? So, and because I'm having trouble getting, my husband to understand that his days of driving are coming to an end. Yeah, it'll be a race to see what happens first. Are we going to get in an automobile accident, or is he going to understand he can no longer drive at some point? So, all that's going on. In the meantime, the reason we're trying so hard to get the social worker from the VA to get over here and get stuff done is because we still need something to do with the roof, because it's already starting to leak, which means it's not going to be long before it's going to be considered an uninhabitable domain, because you got a big hole in the roof. You can't technically live there. And if I don't have a safe place for Jared to live, yes, well, you can imagine what they would do with that. So all that's been happening So yes, so all of that to say, I'm sorry that I wasn't available and I haven't been online as often as normal. Believe me, I would rather have been online with you guys than having to go through all that. So, but I think I have gotten most of that taken care of. Some of that is going to happen in the next couple of months, I'm hoping. So, you know, that should free me up to be able to be online more. Hopefully we will, you know, have a good time with our event, and I can just let that lay there until further notice, and, you know, things will happen in due time. But the hard part was getting all of that on the books, organized, talking to the right people, getting in the right system. All of that in our current political climate was 10 times harder than it ever has been before. So as a result, I was taken away from you guys. So I apologize for that. I'm glad I'm back. I have missed you. I'm glad it's our time for our event so we can all have some fun. You know, we need some fun, guys, because yeah, this other thing is a bunch of BS. So here we are. So that's what's going on. So that's what's happening with me. I think it's under control. If it's not, I'm sure the implosion will be felt for miles. You'll probably know that it was not under control. But for now, we're going to assume it's under control. Okay, now, let us talk a minute about our trivia question that I asked you in the last video. I was very impressed with you guys, as I always am, because you always know stuff. You always know what is happening. And some of you that didn't know, thank you for being honest and not trying to cheat and just going, you know what, I don't know. So I'm going to give you the info and tell you. Most of you did have it, you know, down fairly on the money for what was happening. Why is the Dead Sea called the Dead Sea? Well, as you probably have figured out, or as some of you already knew, it is called the Dead Sea because of the level of salt, or the salinity of the Dead Sea. So here's what I can tell you. This is how it's spit out, so you'll know. The Dead Sea is so named because its high salinity or salt level discourages the growth of fish, plants, and other wildlife. This salt lake resides in a depression in the Earth's crust where the continents of Africa and Asia are pulling away from each other. It has pulled in visitors and industries for thousands of years. The Dead Sea is the lowest surface feature on Earth, sitting roughly 1,300 feet, 400 meters, below sea level. On a hot, dry summer day, the water level can drop as much as 1 inch, 2 to 3 centimeters, because of evaporation. So, not only is it got this high salt value, and the reason for that, which it doesn't deliberately say, the reason for that is because it has no outlet, so it doesn't mix with any other water. So it's not like, you know, the oceans that, you know, we have out here in the States that, you know, feed into, their tributaries kind of feed in back and forth into the sea. Yeah, it doesn't do that. So it has no outlet. So the salinity value, the salt value just stays, and it's very concentrated. So no sea life, no, you know, plant life, no bacteria, which is good too. So that's why people like to go in it, and supposedly it has healing properties because of all that salt that keeps everything impure out of it, apparently. Yeah, so that's why it's called the Dead Sea, because nothing lives in it. Let's see. The ancient Egyptians used salts from the Dead Sea for mummification, fertilizers, and potash, and potassium-based salt. In the modern age, sodium chloride and potassium salts culled from the sea are used for water conditioning, road de-icing, and the manufacturing of polyvinyl chloride or PVC plastics. So if you have PVC pipe, now you know. The expansion of massive salt evaporation are clearly visible over the span of the 39 years. The region is also known and is famous for its historical and religious significance. Let's see. Let's see. Between 1947 and 1956, a series of 972 ancient papyrus and ink texts were discovered in caverns near the sea's northeastern shore. These quote-unquote Dead Sea Scrolls are some of the oldest preserved fragments of the Hebrew Bible and other Judeo-Christian texts. So, yes. NASA and the U.S. Geological Survey jointly manage Landsat, and the USGS preserves a 40-year archive of Landsat images that is freely available data over the internet. So if any of you want to see, what it looks like via satellite pictures, NASA keeps that, so you can go look anytime you want. So that is the mystery of why the Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea. So yes. Now everybody, next time if you hear a trivia question, you could win with that. You'll know why the Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea. Its salt value is so high that nothing survives in there. It doesn't live in there. I found it interesting because Native Americans used to say, and this is because now remember, we're talking about United States Native Americans. Their rule of thumb was, if you were out, around here and you were in the desert or you were walking along or something and you stopped and you wanted to drink out of a water source, you should not drink it if nothing lived in it. Now, that's still true even for the Dead Sea. You wouldn't want to drink something that had that much salt because it would dehydrate you very quickly. But Native Americans understood that if there was no life supported in it, it means it wasn't good for living things, and so that was the rule of thumb. Doesn't matter if you're out wherever you are, if you see a water source and nothing lives in it, don't drink out of it. So that's just an extra little tidbit for you guys. So yeah, I do want to tell you, I was very impressed, you guys, too, with the wonderful canvases you picked out. I hope you enjoy the WIP parade, such as I could do with it after this, because it's wonderful. It really is. Your canvases are as unique and individual as all of you, and I love that. I absolutely love that. So hopefully that will be something fun you can look at. And again, please do let me know if you thought you were on the list and you ended up not on the list. It's possible that something or somebody, could have gotten lost in the shuffle. Like I said, it's been a bit hectic this last several weeks. So, nobody's perfect. But if I need to, put you back on because you were on and I missed you, I'm certainly happy to do that. Otherwise, I think you guys will enjoy seeing what all of you do, because you guys did some great canvases. I think they're just precious. I'm so excited for you to see all of them. So that's what's happening. Let's see what else is going on. I don't know, have you guys had some fall weather yet? Because right now here in Southern California, it's still summer. I hate it when summer gets here because it never leaves. It takes a long time for it to get here, to get out of here. And I want it to go so badly. I want this cool air because I'm not a summer person. I don't like the heat. So anytime fall, anytime would be great. So yes. So how's your weather where you guys are? You starting to get some cool nights? Is it getting crispy a little bit in the evening? Because that's always the sign that, weather's changing. I hope so. I hope you guys are not sweltering along. I know it's supposed to be hot this weekend in a lot of places. It was 100 degrees here yesterday, and I had to go out in it, which was awful because my little Griffin, my little Chihuahua, he had a vet appointment to find out what's going on. He was limping periodically. Come to find out, he's got a luxating shoulder, which isn't good, and it's unusual. I mean, it's typical for them to have luxating, meaning it's moving in and out of joint. It's not uncommon for them to have luxating kneecaps or even hips. and even elbows, but shoulders are not typical. So we don't know what happened. The vet asked me if he'd been in an automobile accident, and I said, no, he has not been in an accident. So he wanted to talk with some of his colleagues to find out if he needed to have some kind of orthopedic intervention or if he could live with it the way it is. So he changed his daily medicine to a medicine that includes a pain reliever for him. So hopefully, you know, that will keep him happy. At least I hope so. I don't like to see him hurting. And he had a birthday on the 20th of August, so he's 7 now. So yeah, he's getting to be close to middle age for a Chihuahua. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, so we had to get out in it, and oh, nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. But we did what we had to do to get everything taken care of. So yeah, and all the dragons are good. I told you about Fanny in. Claire is ridiculous. I really expected her to be laying some eggs, but she hasn't yet. So I don't really know for sure what that means, except that, you know, she just hasn't. But she's doing okay. She's eating and everything, which is good. If she wasn't eating, I would be worried and I would be afraid that she was egg bound, but she's not, as far as I can tell. But I'm keeping close watch on her because she makes me nervous. So that's happening. Ruby is doing wonderful. I was able to finally get her disco ball, her mirrored disco ball into her tank. She loves it. Ruby loves anything that sparkles. And so I found an ornament that was a disco ball, and I thought, she needs this. So I hung it from her ceiling, wondering, I wasn't sure what she'd think of it, but she actually was fine. She liked it. She thought it was the coolest thing. So now she lays in her basking spot and she watches it, you know, with the sunlight that twinkles off of it. She likes to look at it and see what's going on. So yeah, she seems to be enjoying it. So that was good. And Merlin, ever Merlin, who still thinks it's mating season because they all slept such weird brumation cycles this year that, you know, they're off kilter a little bit. So yeah, they're all acting ridiculous, thinking it's mating season when it's really not mating season. But anyway, that hopefully they'll be finished with that in a couple weeks here. At least I'm hoping so, because, you know, mating season's a pain, especially if they're not going to be mating. It's really a pain. So it'd be nice when we're all finished with the hormones. And then, yeah, so that's all the dragons. They're all doing fine. And the dogs are all good. So that's been nice too. Yeah. Is anybody doing any other events at the same time? Some of you doing drills and chills. Some of you doing something else entirely. Be sure that you do look over too on Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 and find out who's doing what. I'm also doing Remembrance and Memorial for Minz's event. True Vampire Art is her store. True Vampire Crafts is her website on YouTube. She's doing Memorial and Remembrance. So I am doing the Rainbow Bridge for that one. So, yeah. Are some of you doing Luscious Landscapes? Are you doing, you know, Chuck Pinson or somebody? What are you guys up to for September? Is anybody starting their Christmas shopping? I do that early, not normally this early, but you know, early enough. I mean, it's hard to believe that Halloween is already next month, which is crazy, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas. You guys know how fast it gets here. I mean, it's just nuts. So, yeah, so what are you guys doing? I've been working on some Halloween cards. I haven't done Halloween cards in a long time because, frankly, after my father died in 2022 in the first week of December, and then my best friend died in April 2023, I just didn't want to craft anymore. I really didn't. Aside from diamond painting, I just didn't. Just didn't. And yet I missed it, but I just didn't want to deal with it. My grief was too much. So this is the first year I'm trying to get back into the swing of card making. So I've been making Halloween cards, and then I will switch to some Christmas cards when I'm finished with those. And it feels good. It feels good to do some crafting because, like I said, I really did miss it. I just wasn't up to it, but I'm happy to be up to it now. I think that means I must be getting better, although I miss them. You know, I really, really miss them very, very much. My mother too. She passed in 2012, and so, and then my dad, you know, lasted 11 years after she passed, until he got dementia, and then really couldn't, you know, we were having trouble getting him to remember to take his medication. I mean, it comes with the territory. Any of you that have had to deal with that, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it was hard. But, you know, he did pretty well for quite a while, even though he never got over my mother's passing. They had been married 53 years when she passed, and there wasn't a day that went by that he didn't miss her. I was worried about him because I really was afraid he would try to take his own life. He was very close to it a number of times, and I had a hard time with that, and I had to, you know, try to convince my brother, hey, we need to get his gun out of there because I don't know what he's liable to do. And we tried to do it, and we tried to get it, and he had hidden it, and it just wasn't good, guys. So, but yeah, his passing was not pleasant either. He was in a skilled nursing facility, and you know what? Nope, never again, never again. So, but it just kind of, yeah, I really got into a fairly deep depression, which I don't normally suffer from, and a lot of medications were recommended to me. I'm like, yeah, no, that's no, thank you. I'm not gonna do that. When you're in a depressing situation, sometimes that means that it's depressing, and you shouldn't be trying to medicate yourself out of it unless, you know, you're really stuck there. And I was stuck. I was stuck for a while. But, you know, that's okay. Sometimes that's what grief does, and you just have to cope with that and do it at your own pace. Your grief is not for someone else to determine when it should last, how long it should last, what it should look like. That's not up to them. That's up to you. And it's a personal thing, and it differs from person to person. I managed to get done the responsibilities that I needed to do, and then I was sad and terrible the rest of the time. But that's all I knew to be. And I hated it because it's not like me to be that way, but I couldn't help it. Like, literally, I could not help it. So, yeah, it was kind of a lot, you guys. But I do feel like finally on the upswing. So, yay. Doesn't mean I don't occasionally have a tough day. Of course I do. I think that comes to, you know, I think it comes with aging. I think when you start losing your family of origin, you know, those kind of things come into play. I don't think there's any way to avoid them. I think it's just a matter of life. That's what happens. So, I just wish that made it easier. It does not. But, you know, we do what we can do, right? So, I'm trying to take, you know, some solace in my family that's still here. It would be helpful if my kids lived a little closer, but they do not. So, my oldest son's birthday was yesterday. The one that's in Florida, he turned 36. And he let me know that he received the box that I sent him for his birthday with his presents in it. So that was good. It was a day late. I was glad it didn't get any later because he did get it on his birthday, but boy, it was close. He really liked his presents, so that was good. And, you know, he called me on the phone, and we talked about him, and I got to see my grandbabies. His sons, my grandsons from him, are 8 and 2. Cute as a bug's ear, too. And then my other son that lives in Texas, he and his family are the ones that came out to visit earlier in the summer. And so they have my 7-year-old grandson and my 1.5-year-old niece. So it was nice to see them in person. So it was good. But, you know, I don't see them very often because they live so far away. So that's a drag. You know, it just really is a shame. But, you know, we do what we can. We try to make those kind of moments last as much as possible. And we're talking about trying to meet up in the middle and have a family reunion at some point in the next couple years, which I think is a good idea, especially given, you know, Neil's diagnosis. Neil has 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and he can't locate either one of them. They don't speak to him. And I find it frustrating that they don't at least leave a phone number so that they can be reached to know about his diagnosis. He has a sister he doesn't speak to either. She's in here. She's in California. She's about an hour away. You know, they don't speak. So she tried to rob him of his inheritance. It was ugly. So they don't talk at all. So, yeah, he isn't going to let her know about his diagnosis. It's just sad. The whole thing is just really sad. Family dynamics, man. I don't know. It's like, you know, life is so short, people. It just really is. Don't let things go unsaid. Don't let things break you apart. Reconcile if you can. And if you can't and you have to take toxic people out of your life, then take them out. You got to do what's right for you and your immediate family that you forged, that you discovered and found on your own. So if that means you got to get rid of toxic family members from your family of origin, I mean, that's what it means. I had to go through that. There were a couple people that I had to cut off because 2 out of 3 of my kids are adopted, and they were not interested or willing to see my children as family, which is ludicrous because who cares what DNA you carry? It means nothing, literally nothing. What makes you a family, what makes you a parent, what makes you, you know, a person is the relationships you forge, the people that you love, the people that love you. That's your family. Doesn't matter if you share DNA or not. So because I couldn't seem to get that through to some of these people, I'm like, okay, well, it's been nice knowing you. And I literally wrote them off because I chose my children over their antiquated BS. And so, yeah, so I haven't seen them in 30 years and don't care to. So, you know, I mean, it's too bad, but you have to make decisions. What's going to make your life the way you want it to be. So, that's that information. Anyway, enough Debbie Downer activity here. So, what we're going to be doing, you guys, like I said before, we're going to be doing weekly check-ins and see what's going on with you guys. And we're going to learn some stuff about the ocean. We're going to talk about some cool stuff about the ocean. We're going to have some prizes we're going to give away. We're going to have a good time with this, is what we're going to do. We're going to learn about some of the sea creatures. We're going to learn about some of the interesting areas like the Marianas Trench. And if you don't know what that is, you're going to find it interesting, I think. We are going to talk about some of the most interesting facts about some of the sea creatures and the sea itself. And we are going to diamond paint ourselves silly. That's what we're going to do. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the event and get something out of it. And, you know, hopefully you will find it interesting. Don't forget too that the rest of the year there are going to, of course, be more events. Hopefully you'll be joining me again for Luna and Lichens in November, so you can get your canvases with your moons on it and or your canvases with your wolves on it, so that you can join us for that. I think that's going to be also very, very fun. And there is going to be another dragon event sometime between now and the first quarter of the year of next year. So hang on to your dragons. If you didn't get to do, your dragons during Year of the Dragon, don't worry, you're going to get to do another one. Be thinking about which one you'd like to do. So we are going to do one. I am going to take a co-host for that one. And I will explain all of that when the time comes about how that's going to work. For now, just know that there will be another dragon event. What else is there going to be? Also, the end of the year in December, because that's November, and then in December, we are going to do our Better Angels and have a fairy happy holiday. So that's all of your fae creatures and any winged creature. So your angels, your fairies, your Pegasus, your trolls, your elves, your whatever you would like to call it, and your fae creatures are also going to be included in that. So that will be in December. So yeah, everybody who's needing a break after their Christmas shopping, you can come join the event and paint along, and we'll talk about some cool stuff with all of our fae creatures and get ready to celebrate the holiday and then New Year. And then it will be a whole nother year, you guys. It's crazy, isn't it? Well, time marches on, and like it or not. So that's what's going to be happening. And then next year, you guys, don't forget, Neil is hosting Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in March for Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0. And then I will be starting in April. I am going to be doing the next set of events for 2026, which will be, I want to make sure I don't say this incorrectly and send you guys wondering what the heck is going on. Okay. So for next year, for 2026, for April, I will be doing the Walk Like an Egyptian event. Anything Egyptian works. Any canvas that's Egypt based. Your pharaohs, your gods and goddesses, Cleopatra, Tut, any of those, desert oasis, camels, Sheik, all of that is all the Egyptian stuff. Anubis, all those people, it's time. April, Walk Like an Egyptian. And then June 2026, from the 1st to the 30th, Purple Haze. Any canvas that has a majority of purple on it will be qualifying. So be thinking about that. If you haven't picked one out yet and you think you would like to do it, be on the lookout. You might find some when you least expect it. You might find them on sale even, because a lot of majority purple canvases are kind of discounted in the holidays when the colors are different. So, just be on the lookout. Just remember you need one, a purple canvas. Then that's June. So then in August 1st to the 31st, we are going to be doing Zodiac. Chinese or American is fine. So get your Zodiac canvases ready, whether that's going to be, your star sign, your astrology sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Aries, Sagittarius, whatever you are. Or if you're going to be doing Year of the Zodiac, keep in mind that the Chinese Zodiac mini dazzles at DAC are really cool. Now you could do the set if you wanted to for that event. So yeah, there's lots of options for the Zodiac. Okay, and then November 1st to the 30th of 2026, we will be doing Fairies, Pixies, and Gnomes. Oh my. that tells you what it's going to be. Fairies, pixies, and gnomes. Again, we're going to have some fae creatures. Okay, so yeah, if you happen to be looking for diamond paintings and you see a cool one that has a fae type creature, a fairy, a pixie, or a gnome, by golly, pick it up so that you'll have one to do for the event. So yep, those are the events coming through from this channel. And for Neil, don't forget to check Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0. They have another calendar, and they will be having 2 hosts per month next year for 2026. So you're going to want to go over and check them out because they're going to be doing lots of cool stuff. I'm going to be doubling up a lot next year. I don't know about you guys. Next year, I have got a lot of premium canvases that I would like to do for events, which means I'm going to be having massive amount of WIPs. That's really what's going to happen, you guys, because I mean, that's how it's going to work out. So I'm like, so I've been trying to work on getting them finished. I have finished all the WIPs I had working, except I do have 3 canvases left. So it's okay if I add WIPs, I'm okay. I do have some off-canvas projects I want to finish before the end of this year as well. And then let the chips fall where they may. If it means that I have a bunch of canvases that end up WIPs and I have a lot of extra stuff to do, that's fine. I can do that. So that is what's coming. So if you have any questions for the remaining events of this year, or the events for next year, for this channel, do let me know. My email is always in the box at the bottom in the description box on this video. Check that out. You can get me word by email, by Instagram, by comment section here. However you want to, you can get me your question and I'll be happy to answer that for you. And again, be sure you check Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 for their calendar for next year and for the rest of this year. They have some pretty cool ones going. So that is what's happening. Okay, you guys. Well, I have been talking your ear off for 50 minutes already. I know, hard to believe. So I'm going to let you go and get on with your day. Enjoy the WIP parade that's going to be attached. And remember, oh, give me some grace, you guys. I'm still learning that whole WIP parade thing. So be patient. And when you get to the music at the end after the thank you, just, go ahead, cut it off. It's over. I just have to figure out how to shorten and delete some of the music. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and welcome again to Under the Sea. I cannot wait to spend this month with you guys. You're all going to be sea dragons temporarily, so we will enjoy that. Remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Protect those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. Okay, Dragonites, welcome to Under the Sea. Enjoy the WIP parade, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.